Yeah, it'll be 11. About 10 and a half. Try 10 and a half.
Well, good afternoon, folks, and welcome to Superior Livestock and Superior Productions' Next Stop Auction Block. I'm Katie Kaufman, and as always, alongside me is the manager of our purebred division, Mr. Jason Barber, and we're located right here in the heart of Cowtown, Fort Worth, Texas. Jason, good to see you.
Good to see you again, Katie.
We have another great show planned for all of you folks today. We have very special guests that are going to be on the program. It's the AMS Group, the American Marketing Services. It's going to be three guys, and also we're going to have a vet come in just a little bit later in the show and really talk about who they are, what they offer, and also their superior representatives, and we certainly love that. As many of you have heard, Jason and I visit about the Superior Family Horse Auction. Well, it just happened, and I have to tell you, Kelly Keller from Superior Productions did an outstanding job. She had 30 great quality ranch horses that were offered for sale, and we also are going to show you the top 5 that sold.
Sure. No, that's definitely a great auction. Katie and I were both here on Saturday for it. By far the most activity we've had on one of these Superior Family horse sales. I mean, there was people calling in, the phones were busy the entire time.
Oh, man.
Luckily for you, you're up on the block
I was
making
up on the
announcements,
block.
but I was down on the bid line. And there's times where we all had 2 phones.
You all were just going crazy.
Ralph Wade had one of those lost. I mean, it was busy, but it was such a great sale. Kelly really did do a good job on it. Had a lot of buyers. I know on Friday when I went home, before I left the office, I looked to see how many people we had registered. We had 98 people registered. Well, this morning I got on there to look and see how many we ended up with, and we actually ended up with over 180 people registered.
Wow.
So
So it doubled that morning.
It did. So, and there's people calling in, and I was running back and forth between our bid line phone and our 800 number, and there's people calling in to say, hey, we're trying to get registered. We want to bid on this next horse. And we said, you know, use a little bit of patience. That's why you sign up ahead of time and not during the sale. But I know the phone just rang off the hook from people trying to turned on RFD and saw the sale and called in to get registered and buy.
Yeah, I have to tell you, I've been on hand for the last 4 or 5 horse auctions, as have you, and this was by far the best group of horses that I've ever seen. So we were so proud of Kelly Keller in the office for putting all of those horses together. Now, do make a note that our next Superior Family Horse Auction, it will be Saturday, November 3rd. So we are already having consignments for that auction. So if you have a horse that you'd like to consign or a great ranch and using a horse that you want to give a try and sell, certainly give us a call. We'd be glad to help you. Jason's also going to go over some auction updates. We have 3 more auctions coming up. We have Worman, Walking T, and am I thinking about one?
Yes, Double S Ranch.
Oh, yeah, that's right, Double S Ranch.
And then we'll have the Worman Dispersal on June 4th and 5th. Actually, the first day, which is a Monday, there's going to be a preview at 8 a.m. Central Time, followed by the sale starting at 8:30. Then on Tuesday, the sale will actually start at 8:30 a.m. Central Time. And this will definitely be one of the absolute best sales in the United States this year for Angus genetics. Worman's certainly been in the business for a long time. It's really one of the icon operations of the Angus breed. It's almost kind of sad seeing them have a complete dispersal, but for those people that are already in the Angus breed or people that are wanting to get into the Angus breed, here's the chance to absolutely get some of the top-end Angus genetics in the industry. I know myself and Bob Neighbors will be out there representing Superior at this sale. And it's actually on a pretty busy week because the rest of y'all will actually be at Council Bluffs.
Yeah, that's the first stop for our commercial auction season in Council Bluffs, Iowa. But for Worman, like you said, they're such an icon to the Angus breed that it really is bittersweet to see someone of this magnitude, you know, have a complete dispersal. Do you know how many head count they're going to have to offer?
I know well over. Well, actually, Bob Neighbors is out there this week shooting, and I think there's somewhere around 1,500. So it's a big one, and Richard McClung, who manages Worman Angus, has just done such a great job building this cow herd, and especially if you've ever seen their sales, they've got a couple each year, and they're at broadcast with Superior. They've got a spring bull sale with us and a fall female sale with us, but their female sale has absolutely been one of the best in the country, and there's been years where they've probably averaged 15 to 20,000 on over 100 head of Angus females.
Wow.
Just unbelievable genetics out there.
Wow. Well, I know that the AMS group, we're going to have them on a little bit later in the program. They're going to be talking about their Walking T Ranch auction. It will be June 9th beginning at 10 a.m. in Melissa, Texas. 1,150 head of cattle will be selling. So let me tell you what, the first week of June, Superior is offering literally thousands and thousands of cattle if you are in the market to buy.
That's right, and this Walking T Ranch sale, it'll be a great opportunity for people who are needing to buy replacement females and build their herds back up after last year's drought. So definitely one to look at. We're actually going to have those guys here on the show in a little bit, the guys that are putting the sale on, and they'll talk about it a lot more in detail, so we'll save that for them. Really the last auction that we've got to talk about right now is the Double S Ranch. It's going to be a horse sale, and it's going to be a timed auction. I know Kelly's on top of it, and we'll have more details about this one online, so just go to superiorlivestock.com and you can sure find out some more information on this.
This is what I was looking for. Sorry, I was looking for this. But for this timed auction, so what it is, it started on May 9th, and it's going to run through the middle of June or somewhere around there until the timed auction runs out or any horses are no longer available, excuse me. But they have about, I'd say 16 to 17 lots, anywhere from mares with babies outside, or brood mares. There is 2 stallions, if I'm not mistaken. Great pedigrees on these horses if you are interested in getting some more broodmares for your broodmare band or anything like that. This is a broodmare in full sale at the Double S Ranch in Tracy, California, not too far from where I grew up.
Really?
Not too far at all.
Go buy a horse, you won't have far to
Oh man, yeah, I wish. But anyway, we have a great show, folks, for all of you today, so we want to thank you for joining us, and stay with us because we'll be back right after this. Join Superior Livestock Auction all summer long at our biggest cattle auctions of the year. Mark your calendars now. June 7th and 8th will be in Council Bluffs, Iowa for our Corn Belt Classic, followed by the largest family reunion in the cattle business, Week in the Rockies in Steamboat Springs, Colorado, June 25th through the 29th. Let's not forget about our good friends in our western region as we take over the town of Winnemucca, Nevada for a full week of fun July 23rd through the 27th. How about taking a trip to the Bighorn Mountains in beautiful Wyoming? Superior Livestock will be having our annual Bighorn Classic in Sheridan, Wyoming, August 13th through the 17th. Lastly, our Labor Day auction will wind up the summer season from Denver, Colorado, September 5th through the 7th. For more information, log on to superiorlivestock.com, and we'll see you this summer. Well, welcome back to Auction Block. As Jason and I said at the top of the show, we were going to have some very special guests on the program, and now we're joined by the American Marketing Services. This is Mr. Richard Hood. We have Mark Cowan, along with Mr. Trey Kirkpatrick. So, guys, thanks for being here.
Thank you. We're glad to be here.
We are so glad to have all of you on. Not only are you Superior representatives, but you also are no one new to the cattle industry. The American Marketing Services certainly proves that. So, Mark, I'm going to go ahead and have you visit about AMS and what you all do.
We're a marketing company, obviously. We all deal in purebred livestock as well as commercial livestock. And we're really excited about recently joining the Superior Group and marketing feeder calves and stocker cattle out in the commercial industry.
And really, you focus on the southern United States. Talk about your territory.
Yes, our main thrust and the part of the industry that we're most familiar with is the southern half of the United States. We deal in a lot of Bos Indicus influence cattle, both from a purebred marketing standpoint and also a replacement female standpoint. And so that's the segment of the industry that we're most familiar with, and obviously that's where we'll concentrate our efforts.
Great. And go
I
ahead,
was going to say
Jason.
AMS, it does stand for American Marketing Service too, right? And
yes, and it's not a coincidence that American is in our name because we do tend to focus on the American breeds because that's what we're most familiar with.
And Richard, joining the AMS group, like I said, you all have grown up in the cattle industry and the beef industry for quite some time. Talk about your partnership with AMS and how you got started in it as well.
Well, in our past professional careers, Mark and Trey and I worked together for one of the largest seed stock ranches in the United States and genetic company. When we separated and went our separate ways, and always a dream of ours to put a deal like this together, and we came back together 3 years ago and formed this company. Mark and I did. We started, and then Trey joined us shortly after that. And we've grown it. We're involved in marketing from a standpoint of as Mark alluded to, selling replacement cattle and purebred registered cattle, but we also publish a magazine that supports the American breeds called The Ear, and it goes to our clientele along with cattle ranches from the tip of Florida to California, and it basically supports the Bos Indicus, the eared cattle, with information and newest studies and things that have been done for these cattle and with these cattle across the southern United States.
Well, we like that, and Richard, you have it here with us. We love the magazine, but especially we love the back when you're promoting Superior Livestock. We like that, huh, Jason? Well, Trey, kind of give us your background a little bit.
Well, all three of us grew up in the ranching industry, kind of in different parts of Texas. I grew up in Central and West Texas. Mark in kind of Northeast Texas, and Richard then around the Franklin, Robertson County area. So, but all grew up in the cattle industry, and all of us grew up with kind of our hands both in the commercial and the registered piece.
And some of our customers that have been with Superior for quite some time might recognize one sale that you all heavily promote, and that's the Nunley Brothers auction every year. Yes,
we're very privileged to be associated with the Nunley Brothers. They're one of the premier cow-calf operations in South Texas. They do a super job. Their base is Santa Gertrudis cattle, and they then cross those with both Hereford and Angus bulls and sell this year about 450 replacement females. It's an annual sale, and you know, we've talked about growing it to 1,000 replacement females. However, it seems like every time we get ramped up, we have another drought. But this year looks to be very promising. They've had a bunch of rain in that area, and the cattle, as always, are really, really good.
If I were to be a new customer for AMS, kind of walk me through what you help your customers with all the way up until auction day. Who wants to answer that?
I guess you would call us from what we deal with is everywhere from seed stock. In other words, we could help clients select their seed stock, their bulls, to produce the calves, and then we would obviously, because of our relationship with Superior, also have an outlet for those calves. We feel like as a company it gives us a step up, and it enables us to really provide more services to our clients. We feel that in the marketing segment, as in many other segments of the industry, it's all about customer service, and the more avenues to generate income and to make superior calves that we can provide our customers, the better off that we are, and as a result, the better off our customers are.
Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I agree. Growing up in the livestock industry, I've certainly known of these guys for a long time, and I can say they certainly offer wealth and knowledge. And one thing that I think y'all really bring to the table is, like you said, y'all offer the full service. You've got a background with seed stock with purebred cattle, and you also help market commercial cattle. And that's a one thing that we don't see a whole lot of on Superior on the commercial side of the company, because a lot of our reps, they deal strictly with the commercial side. But for y'all to be able to also suggest bulls and help these people breed their cattle, and then when those calves are born, to help them market it, I think that'll go a long ways.
We're certainly excited about the opportunity, and one of the things that does is it does draw us closer to our customers and provides that extra level of service, and that's really what American Marketing Service is about.
Well, we love that. We're so glad that all of you could join us. We're going to run to commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to get to know the AMS group just a little bit more. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this. Join Superior Livestock on Friday, June 22nd at noon Central for our Superior Dairy Auction, featuring dairy replacement heifers and springers on RFD TV. Do you have dairy cattle that you'd like to sell, or are you in the market to buy? Contact Superior Livestock today at 800-422-2117 or learn more about our upcoming auctions at superiorlivestock.com and market your cattle the Superior way. Well, welcome back to Auction Block. We've been visiting with the AMS Group, the American Marketing Service guys from Texas. And Jason, go ahead and take it away.
Well, Richard, one thing that I want us to cover today, because I know Katie and I have certainly covered exotic breeds of cattle, continental, and we've sure talked about British breeds, Angus and Hereford and Red Angus in depth on this show, and especially the traits and the qualities that they bring to the table. And since you guys are experts in eared cattle, can you go ahead and tell us what Boston-Icus breeds of cattle bring to the table?
Well, Jason, in the 1920s and 30s, people that are now legendary in history books have been written about, took and looked at finding cattle that sweat from the gland and that were parasite and insect resistant and tolerant, and found out that there was a strain of cattle that derived from India and Brazil called Zebu, and they brought it to this country. And they used that base. There was about 36 breeds that came to this country. And in the subtropical regions and the arid regions of the United States, they were trying to develop an animal that was marketable and would work on grass and work in the feed yard and produce a quality product. From that, they formed several of these breeds. One foremost, the Brahman breed, and another Santa Gertrudis, and another Brangus and Cimbra, and the history goes on. From that, in the development of these each individual breeds and the producers in that, it has become quite evident that in the southern tier of the United States, where last year right here in this town we stand in, we had over 60 days of 100-degree weather, that it makes sense to have a cow that fits your environment and that sweats from the gland. She sweats like you and I do. And the Boston-Icus animal is very, very needed for that, and needed to be out there to maximize efficiency. Although in the first time in all of our lifetimes, we're seeing a time to where real wealth can be built in the cow industry. And at the same time, we're rebuilding the cow herd from one of the worst droughts we've ever experienced. And in dealing with our customers, we're finding that they have realized that there are great Hereford cattle, there are great Angus cattle, there are great Limousin cattle, Charolais cattle, but there are also great Boston-Icus cattle. And it's the programs that they're going out and they're trying to find those secured genetics to maximize the freest tool we have, and that is heterosis. And from that, you cross a British breed with a Boston-Icus, or vice versa. You maximize Bos Taurus, Boston-Icus, you maximize heterosis. That's the only free tool we have in this industry.
So you get a lot of that hybrid vigor.
You get it. Studies have shown there's more hybrid vigor and more heterosis Bos Taurus on Boston-Icus than there is Boston-Icus on Boston-Icus and Bos Taurus on Bos Taurus. So why not utilize that? And there are secure genetics in Boston-Icus that will grade choice, that will convert in the feed yard, and are predictable in all growth traits and all birth traits as well. So why not utilize an animal that fits the environment? And I think Mark's got a quote he wants to share on that we argue who has this, but Mark, I'll let him elaborate.
Well, one of the things that we encourage our clients to do, and again, remember we're focused on the southern half of the United States, but we try to remind our clients to build your cow herd to fit the environment, and then select your bull power to fit the market. And you can take your Boston-Icus influenced females, and if you're searching for the growth gene, if you're going to hit the non-quality grid, the yield grade grid, then maybe you take her to a semi-bull, or you take her to a Charolais bull. Or if you're going to produce replacement females, maybe you take her to a British breed such as an Angus or a Hereford.
My favorite cross is that F1 Tiger Stripe.
There is nothing right now in the industry that'll top the market any quicker than a set of bred or pair Tiger Stripe females.
We call it chrome. Coming from the Hereford, when you talk about the Brangus Hereford cross, the Brahman Hereford cross, the Brayford, the Santa Gertrudis Hereford cross that Nunley's had, those chromed animals, as we call them, always, on a replacement level, always tend to bring a little bit more. They sell well. Whatever day, whatever market, they're at the top of the market. So very well, a very good cross.
Well, guys, like we had all visited about, you do have an auction coming up here pretty quick with Superior. It's the Walking T Ranch auction. You're going to be selling 1,150 head of cattle.
We are, and we're real excited about it. It'll be the Walking T sale will be up at Melissa, just north of McKinney, and there will be bred heifers in it. There'll be a few pairs and 3-in-1s in it, but predominantly bred heifers, black motts, Brangus type, Angus type, and really a front pasture set of cattle and a set of cattle that'll go out and earn a living and do a good job. And we are excited about it. Many of the cattle have been AI'd to Brangus bulls and Angus bulls, and if somebody wanted to buy a set of cattle that then they could take those calves and go back in the feedlot with them, they'll certainly do that. The bulls that we use were specifically chosen for ease of birth, and then cattle that would go in the feedlot and grade and yield. And so we're excited about that, and then cleaned up with Angus bulls behind them.
Well, I'd expect this sale to go really well, especially with, like we touched on a minute ago, but just the drought that Texas and the Southwest experienced last year. There's been more rain this year for sure, even though it needs to green up a little bit more where we're at today, but it's so much further ahead in better shape than last year. You would expect some of these guys that are needing to restock their herds to come in here and give this sale a look.
No, particularly when you have the rains that we had this last week. I mean, people were beginning to get a little bit skeptical again, but we got the additional rains, and so yeah, I think everybody's feeling pretty positive at this point and feels pretty good about the industry. So we're record prices. We've now got rain, we've got grass, so what a better time than now to get in the cow business on June 9th.
And it is hard to find in today's time 1,150 head of bred females that have been under the same management. And there's multiple breed types in Angus, Brangus, and Brangus Baldies and Black Baldies. But there is a select group of these cattle that also, for specialty markets, that have been bred to Wagyu bulls. And that is something to note as well. So a person can come in, they'll sell in groups of 5 and 10 and somewhere in between there, depending on how we sort them. Of course, live on take up the truckloads, which of course live on Superior, you can be from your office or your living room or be there on site with us. It will be a live auction there as well. So, but really excited about this opportunity with Walking T and Superior.
Well, we like that. And just so you folks at home can mark it down on your calendars, it is going to be June 9th beginning at 10 a.m. in Melissa, Texas for the Walking T Ranch. Like the guy said, 1,150 head of cattle. So if you need some, this would certainly be the time to get a buyer number with us. And you know you can do that anytime by calling 800-422-2117. We want to thank the AMS group for coming today. And before we go, I have to congratulate you, Mark. You are the president of the Beef Improvement Federation.
Yes, that was an honor that was bestowed at our convention this last May in Houston, and I'm excited about it. The Beef Improvement Federation is more or less kind of the governing board on performance information. In other words, they make the recommendations as far as the performance programs and kind of set the standards. It's a group of people that agree that, okay, this is going to be the standard. You know, you take weaning weights at 205 days or you take yearling weights at 365 days, as well as being on the cutting edge of the new technology coming down the pike, such as DNA.
Well, thank you again. Thank you all so much for coming. And like we said, AMS Group, knowledge and lots of experience in the cattle industry. And they're also Superior reps, so we love that. And Jason, even more so, they're all Texas A&M Aggies, so Jason certainly loves that.
Giggle.
All right, well, thank you again all so very much. And don't go anywhere, Auction Block. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Superior Livestock is proud to bring you the 14th annual Corn Belt Classic from the Ameristar Hotel and Casino in Council Bluffs, Iowa. Superior brings you outstanding offerings of cattle from the top producers all over the U.S., featuring 10,000 calves from Montana. Join us live on RFD TV or Superior Click to Bid June 6th through the 8th. Tune in early to catch industry news and interviews on Superior Sunrise. Don't miss the Corn Belt Classic on RFD TV. To consign or get a buyer's number, call 800-422-2117.
Well, welcome back to Auction Block. We have to thank the guys at AMS for coming in and visiting with us today. And now we have Dr. Mark Quinn, who is also a part of the AMS group. And you're actually really involved with the Walking T Ranch auction that we're going to be having here June 9th.
That's correct. We've put together a great set of heifers here that we've had since last summer, and they've really developed very well. We're very happy with the way they look. And it's a great set of heifers that we're offering.
Right. I mean, like Jason and I were visiting with AMS, 1,150 head. You can't just every day go and see that many head offered.
No, definitely not. And just speaking with them earlier, I mean, here's a lot of cattle, and they've all been under the same management as what y'all were saying, and it's hard to find sell where you get that large a volume of cattle, and especially that have all been handled by the same people. So there'll definitely be some great cattle. Go ahead and talk a little bit about the actual offering and what type of bloodlines and breeds of cattle and all that good stuff.
Right. We're going to have 4 different types of animals. The majority of the heifers are Brangus type heifers, but we've got some Super Baldies that are Brangus type black Baldies. And then we're going to also have some just straight Angus heifers, and then some black Baldy type Angus animals. We've got them bred a number of different ways. We actually have a small number of heifers that are bred to Wagyu bulls, the Japanese breed that's known for its marbling. And we're going to be putting them in the sale, and we're offering to guarantee buyback on those calves for a meat program that we're involved in. And then we also have a number of the heifers that are naturally bred to Bill Clark Angus bulls, and Bill Clark, we wanted to put some really good bulls on these heifers, and Bill Clark has probably got the best Angus herd in the country, and they're all calving ease Angus bulls. And then beginning April 5th, we started AIing a bunch of these heifers, and so we now have them bred either to Angus or Brangus bulls. And then we've also had some heifers bred to Red Angus bulls. So we've got a great set of heifers here bred a number of different ways. The other thing that I think is really special about this sale is that it's not truckload quantities. We're going to break these animals up into 5 and 10 head lots, so everybody can come and buy some, even if they only need 5 head. They'll have ample opportunities to buy those cattle.
Now, you've got it broken up into 5 and 10 head lots, but it'll also be with the option that if they want to go ahead and fill up a truckload, they can, correct?
Yes, that's correct, and there'll be plenty of opportunity, I think, to get truckload quantities, and in fact, we've had several people, wanting to buy truckload quantities of them. So we're going to try to have them separated very well and sorted into just the Brangus type and then the black Baldy type. And we've actually got a few colored heifers too in there, but for the majority, they're black-hided cattle. They look super good today, and we're really excited about the offering that we have.
I think what's so neat about these too, they've been on high forage diets. I mean, this is a really quality set of cattle.
Well, that's right. We've got a long history of developing heifers for the industry. Not only beef heifers, but also some dairy heifers. And last year we developed some heifers that went exported into 3 different countries. So we're used to doing this type of program. When we started with these cattle, it was so dry that we didn't have grass for them. So we did have them in some pens, and we've developed them on a ration that's very specialized for developing heifers. And we feed a lot of high protein rations with a lot of fiber. And what that does is it really enables them to build the capacity to go right out into grass and operate very well. They've not had any corn or any grain of any kind since last fall, and so they've got a capacity to eat a lot of feed and or graze a lot of grass. And they've been developed slowly, not too fast. So there should be good milk production, and we've gotten good breeding results with them now, and so they're just a really nice set of heifers.
Good. Well, we talked about earlier too, the sale is going to be broadcast on RFD TV, but for people that are wanting to know more specifically on some of the cattle, and especially the ones that would like to come out there and look at the cattle ahead of time, because in conjunction with having the sale on RFD TV, you are actually having the auction there in Melissa, Texas, they can call you and visit with you and find out a lot more information on the sale, correct?
Yes, that's correct. We'll be there to show the cattle anytime anybody wants to come and look. They might not be sorted exactly into lots at that time, but they're welcome to come and look and get a flavor for how the cattle look and how they've been handled, etc. In fact, this week we are actually going through and doing a lot of palpation on these heifers and sorting them to breed type. And then we're going to lot them and then video them. So each group will actually be identified as to this lot. It'll be those 5 heifers or those 10 heifers. And so we think it'll be very well organized to the point that they can be actually go on the websites and look at the videos of the cattle. We'll have catalogs available by late next week, I think, as far as what they're bred to and what cattle are and that type of thing. And they can find that on the AMS website and or request a catalog, a written catalog that could be mailed to them, or printed catalog, I should say. And we think that we've got a great offering here for people, whether they want 5 head or 10 head or truckload quantities. There's enough cattle there that we think will be a great sale.
Sure. Well, just with the cattle market being as high as it's been, and especially coming out the drought from last year, I know we touched on that earlier, but this is definitely a great sale for potential buyers to look at if they're wanting to restock the herd and everything. I know I've had a lot of phone calls lately from people that are looking for quality bred stock, and it sure sounds like this is going to be a great place to look.
It is. We're very happy with what we've been able to accomplish as far as getting these heifers grown properly, bred properly, bred at the right time of the year. We think it's a great offering that people will come out and be happy to buy.
Well, great. Well, Dr. Quinn, thank you so much for visiting with us just a little bit more about walking T. And as he said, that you can go onto the AMS website to get more information, but also you can always, as always, log on to superiorlivestock.com. We will have more information for you about the Walking T Ranch auction on June 9th, and it begins, I believe, at 10 a.m. right there in Melissa, Texas. They're going to be selling 1,150 head of cattle. So if you're in need for some great cattle, here's one auction you don't want to miss. So we want to thank you again, Dr. Quinn, and don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back right after this. Well, Jason, I have to tell you, it was really nice to have the AMS group on, as well as Dr. Mark Quinn, the vet that is going to be at the Walking T Ranch auction as well. And all the American Marketing Services guys, they do a great job, and they're Aggies. We like that.
They are, so they do a great job, and they've obviously got a wealth of knowledge.
Oh, yes, just like you.
Comes from that degree.
Well, like we said at the top of the show, the Superior Family Horse Auction was just unparalleled to any other horse auction we've had in the last 2 or 3 years. And if you are interested in selling or consigning your horse with us, there's a few A to Z list of things that we need to let you know about before you can just jump on and consign with us.
There are, and you know, definitely after this last auction, seeing the activity that we had, and especially how these horses sold, that was honestly one of the better horse auctions we've seen the last 2 or 3 years, easily. But like Katie said, there are a few requirements, and we do call this horse auction normally the Superior Family Horse Auction, and there is a reason, because you do actually have to be some part of the Superior family. Just about every horse, well, really about every horse on there. I mean, these are people who are customers of Superior or they're clients of Superior. They've either had a sale with us, they sell their cows with us, they do some type of marketing. They're tied in with Superior in some way. So you sell a load of calves with us, we'll probably sell that horse for you
Yeah,
later.
we probably will, or at least consign them for you. But for example, we have Superior representatives that actually represent some of the horses that were on the auction.
Well,
so
Ralph, our auctioneer, did.
Right, he had a few, and I believe Steve Frericks of High Tech Marketing up there in Iowa, he also had a couple horses on. So it is possible, but once you get in touch with Kelly Keller, if you are interested in consigning, she'll be able to point you in the right direction. We'd love to help market your horse for you, and at any time you can call Kelly or Jason in the productions office at 800-431-4452. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, there's one other thing I wanted to note about the horse sale, and it's obviously a consignment sale, but if you watch the auction, you know that horses are being sold from all over the country.
Yep.
And it's easy because it's sold over the video. They don't come to Fort Worth before they're sold. So it's a great horse sell. It's very easy and just something to look forward to.
And I think, too, one thing that Ralph Way, the auctioneer of the auction, pointed out, too, that these horses are still in their natural environment. You can see, like where Jason said, where they're located. We give you the consignor's name and telephone number so you can call them anytime before the auction and get any questions answered that you do have. Or if you are in the area, you can even go up there and try the horse, or at least if the consignor allows that, which I would assume that they would. But certainly we try and get those videos up online at least 3 weeks before the auction, so you have time to go preview what you're potentially wanting to buy or consign. So now, like Jason said, the best auction we've had in the last 4 or 5 years. The number one high seller was $10,000. Then we went second to $9,000, $8,500, and then fourth and fifth high sellers rounded out, tying at $6,700. So we want to just congratulate Kelly Keller once again for really putting on a first-class horse auction here at Superior. And now we're going to show you those lots that sold not that long ago. Check them out.
Kid's horse, and here's a horse here that little Chalk, 11 years old now, but he might be going on 21. But here's a nice booger right here, and he's the right size too, Jerry. You and I could even get on this one. All right, here we go. Down, here. I'm gonna do $20,000. Let's just get going right here. $20,000 down, $20,000 here, and $20,000 here, and 15, 10, $10,000, $5,000, 6,000. I'm $5,000 here, and $6,000 here, and 5, 6, I'm $6,000 here. Who's next? Down, now 7, now 7, now 8, down, $8,000 here, and 7, $8,000 down, $7,000 here, and 8, now 9, now $9,000 here, and 8, down, 9, now $9,000 here. What are you gonna do? $8,000 down, $9,000. Won't sell him. Now 10, now $10,000 here, and 10, $10,000. Heather, you got to be 10 now, $10,000 here, and 9, 10 now, $10,000 here, and 10,000 now, $10,000 here, and 9, 10. He's a real deal now, $9,000 here, and 10, 11 now, $11,000 here, and 10, and 11 now, $11,000 here, and 10, $11,000 down, $10,000 here, and 11 now. $11,000 here and 10, $10,000 right here down, $11,000 here and 10, 11, I'm $10,000 here, $11,000, I'm $10,000 here and $11,000. Click it a bid. You ought to be 11. I'll take 10,500. Hey, how many of you need to go get you a Christmas tree? Look at here, little old 11-year-old boy. I'll 10,500 right there down, $10,000 here and 10,500 now, $5,000 here and 500 now, $500 here and 10,000 here and 500. I have. You want him at 10,500 and $10,000 here and 10,500. Yes or no? I got to go. You want him at 10,500? She's in. Sold her. And she gets him $10,000 right here to Heather. There we go, $5,000. I'm $5,000 here to 6,000. I'm $5,000 here to 6,000. Now 7. Now $7,000 here to 6 is here down 7. I'm $7,000 here to 6,000 here to 7. Down 7. Down $7,000 here to 6 here to 7. Down 7 now D. Down D down here and D here and D. I'm at $8,000 here down 9 now. $9,000 here and D now 9 now. $9,000 here and D here down 9. $8,000 down $9,000 here. Who's 9 now? $8,000 here and bring it in down $9,000 here and 8,500. Mitch, what do you want to do? Down $8,500 here and $500 here. Boy, you better take a look.
Look at these phones. Everyone's going crazy.
$8,500 down $500 here and $5 down $500 here and $8,500. $8,000 $8,500 here and $500 down $500 here and what am I going to do? Down $8,500. Yes, go on, Kitty.
Well, we have to say, Sweet JT, I mean, just look at this gentle blue roan gelding. Like they said, he's been using all phases of ranch work. You can take him back. He's been taking the pen and back cattle back in the sale barn. You can head on him. Really great. He's been going to jackpots since last spring. Let me tell you what, this is a good-looking son of a gun.
Anybody want to work phones? 8,200, 85, $500 here and 8,500 down, $200 here and 8,500.
Yeah, we got tourists in here. We're going to have them answer those phones.
85, $500 here and $500 here and 8,500 here and 82, 8,500. Won't sell his horse. $8,200 here and buy 8 head horse. 8,200 down, 8,500 here and buy now 7, $87 here and 7, $87 here now 9, and now 9, and 8,700 down, $9,000 here and 9 down 9. You got the right idea, Mitch. Go right on. $9,000, 87 down, $9,000 here and 8,700 down, $9,000 here and 89 down, $9,000 here and 87. You want to be 9, and now 9. You want to buy them 9? Yes or no? I gotta go. You want to be 87, 89, 9,000, 9,200, 9,200 down, 9,200. Kelly, $9,200 here and $9,000 here and 9,200, and now 92, $9,200 here and 2 down, $200 here and 2 down, $200 here and 9,200 down, $200 here and 2. Sold the horse, $9,000 on it.
Welcome back to Auction Block. We're going to get into more of the top 4 or 5 that rounded out the top sellers of the horse auction.
Damn $5,000 down, $5,000 here and $6,000. I am $5,000 down, $6,000 here and $5,000 down, $6,000 here and $5,000 down, $6,000 here and $5,000 down, $6,000 and now $7,000 here and $6,500 down, $7,000 here and $1,200 down, $7,000 here and $65,700 and now $7,000 here and $1 down, $5 here and $75 here and $5. He's a made horse, boys, $7,500 and $7,500 down, $500 here and down. He's a roping stick, and $7,500 and $7,500. You ought to buy him, man. $7,500 here and what about you, Jerry? You ought to be $7,500 here and $5 now, $5 and $75,000 down, $8,000 here and $7,500 here and $8,000 here and $80 here and $80 here and $75,000 $8,000 down, $5 $8,500 down, $500 here and $8,500 down, $500 here and $85 here down, $5 $8,500. You want in down, $8,500 here and $5 $8,500 down, $500 here and $8. Take 2 down, $8,200 here and $2. Take it here and $8,200, $8,000 down, $8,200 here and $2 down, $200 here and $1 down, $8,200 here and yes and no now, $5 $8,500 down, $500 here and $5. What are you gonna do? Joe, your man's out. $8,500 down, $500 here and $82, $85. Your other in there, $8,500, $82, $85 now, $500 here and $1 down, $8,500 here and $5. I'm gonna sell a horse down, $8,200, $8,500. What are you gonna do? Down, $8,500. I have. Sold him $8,200 only.
All right, moving on to lot 2.
Bill, you want your ranch horse now? Here you go. Here down here and $5,000 down, 5 down. You see 5,000 here and 2,000 down, $300 here and 4 down, $4,000 here and 35, 4 5. I'm in 45, 5,000 down, $5,000 here and 45 here and $5,000 here and 55, 6,000 down, $6,000 here and 55, 6,000. I'm in $6,000 down, $57 here and $6,000 here and $6,000 here and 55, 6,000. I'm in 55 now, $6,000 here and $5,500 here and $6,000 here and 55 down, 6 up here and $6,000 here and down, $6,000 here and down to 6,200. I'm in 6,000 here. You got to be 2 now, $200 here and 2 here and 2 down, here and $6,000 down here too. I'm in 6,200 down, $200 here and what am I gonna do now? $200 here and 2 and now 5. I'm 6,500 here and 5 down, $500 here and 500 here and bring it on down, find down, give it to me. 6,500, 6,500 down, $500 here and 2's here, 5 down, 6,500 here down, 7. I'm in 6,700 down, $700 here and 700 here and 6,700 here and $700 here and what am I gonna do down, 7. I'm in 6,700. Give me the 6. I'm in 6,600. I'll let you in at 6,600 right quick. 65 right here down, $600 here and 6,600 down, $600. He's a real deal. I'm in 6,600 down. And look at there,
Look at him
dragging that great big old tire, huh?
Like
you think he
nothing.
can't pull my horn? That's 6,600 down, 7, 6,700 down, $700 here and 700 down. Did you look at those chinks that young man?
I know. He is one.
Have you ever seen them before?
One good looking-
6,600
I think
and
I
now
have.
7 down, $700 here and 6,700 down, 7. I had to loan them to him. And 68 and 80 Pregatias down, $800 here and 2 down, $800 here and 88 here and 6,800 down, $800 here and what are you gonna do? I'm in 67 right here down, $800 here and 800 here and 800 here and yes or no? Got to go. Yanni 67. He's a real deal. Yanni, but 8. Sold him $6,700 on him. 100 down, $200 here and bring it down, $5,200 here and 2 down, 5 down, 50. Now you got to be 5
Got a
down,
late bloomer over
$5,500
there.
here and 5, $5,200 down, $500 here and 5 down, $500 here and 5,200 down, 5, 8, 4, 6 is bread. Now 7, 5,700, 5,700 down, $700 here and 70 ball him down, $700 here and yes or no? Got to go. Yanni 5,700, 5,700 down, $500 here and 5,700 down, $700 here and what are you gonna do? Down, $700 here and 58.
Good
A real
looking
deal.
kids horse. Look at
Yes,
these
sir.
kids,
Tell 'em
huh?
about it,
How
Katie.
about that? I love this gelding so much when I was editing him. They have those kids going under him, over him, on top of him, through the creeks, and not to mention a good ranch horse for any guy to ride, or woman for that matter.
Did you bring your checkbook?
Oh, look at there.
You bring your checkbook?
No, I'm waiting on you. I'm
57, now 6.
Back in the back.
$6,000 here. And got to be $6,000 goes down, now 6,000. I'm back here with Donna now. 5,700, 6, 62 down, $200 here, and $200 here, and 6,200. And now 5 down, $500 here, and $500 here, and $500 here, and 6,200 here, and 6,500 down, $500 here, and bring it down, $6,500 here, and 7, 6,700 down, $700 here, and 700 here, and 6,700 down, $700 here, and 7, 6,700 down, $700 here,
Come on,
and
Donna.
down, $700 here, and 6,700 down, 7. Give me old 66 right quick, and I'll be able to let you in there. 6,600. You want to do that? 6,600 down, $700 here, and 6,500. Now 7 down, 6,700 down, $700 here, and bring it down. 6,700 down, $700 here, and I'm gonna sell a horse, y'all. 6,700 down, $700 here, and yes or door. Y'all know $7 bear. What's $100 now? $6,700. It won't even buy a tank of gas. $6,700. 67. Now he down to $6,700 down to $100 do down to $7 sold them 67 right down here.
Well, welcome back to Next Stop Auction Block. We've had a great show today, Jason. A lot of Aggies as well as the guys from A&S.
That's right. So definitely been a good show today.
It has been. I have to tell you, when I moved here from California just a little over a year and 4 or 5 months, I don't want to say that California isn't prideful in their colleges. You know, we have USC or UCLA or Davis, Berkeley. Obviously, we have some big name schools that have rivalries. But when I moved here and this whole Aggie thing or Longhorn thing and your rings and all this stuff, it was like, what? It is, you guys, to a whole nother level.
Well, there's a lot of state pride in Texas, and especially when you get it going, talking about the universities and, of course, such great rivalries in football, which, you know, there's not going to be the big A&M Texas rivalry at Thanksgiving this year, but there's still a lot of pride and a little bit of bitterness over which schools are going to be playing who next year and everything. But definitely, you live here in Fort Worth where there's a lot of Aggies, which I'm pretty sure you're dating an Aggie too. So
careful. But, we're not going to get into our personal lives.
But I'm just saying, you know, here in Fort Worth, there's so many Aggies, and you know, people see the senior ring that you've got on, and they come up and they say, you know, hi, I'm such and such class of 75 or whatever.
Right. Okay. Well, I have to tell you a story about that. So we were at, I think we were over at Grand Prairie at one of the horse races or whatever. And so I had only lived here like 4 or 5 months, and I was with Lee, and some guy came out of the snack bar or bathroom area or whatever, and he saw Lee's ring, and he like just darts over to us, and I'm like, oh, what is going on, you know? And he sticks his hand out and he says to Lee, you know, Rick, blah, 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 Joe Smith, class of 1975, and Lee was like, class of 2005, and I'm like,
you're like, whoa.
What are you guys doing? I mean, we just don't do that, but I love it. I love Texas. I don't think I'll ever move home. The pride here, not only like the state pride, like you said, but everything, the camaraderie among everyone is really cool.
Good country music, you know, there's Texas country, and it's just neat down here.
Yeah, so having the AMS guys on, they all had their Aggie rings on around this table.
That's right. That's good to see, wasn't it?
That was good to see. And when we were at commercial break, you know, Landry, she was standing back there, and she goes, Katie, I know that you guys are trying this new because you had to accommodate all these guys and standing and everything. She goes, but you're really short.
Thanks, camera lady.
Yeah, thanks, Landry. I thought, geez, what am I going to stand on but standing next to you? Well, how tall are you?
About 6 foot.
Oh, okay. I'm 5'3.5", but on a really good day, it's about 5'3 3/4.
Oh, you keep growing.
But anyway, okay, well, we got to stop about all this. But coming up, like we've talked about, our production season's completely winding down.
It is.
However, we are already on the calendar getting ready to move into Council Bluffs, Iowa for the first commercial season auction right there outside of Omaha. Going to be a great sale.
It will. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be there because, like I said earlier, I'll be at the Worm and Dispersal that Monday and Tuesday, and I believe Council Bluff is going to be a 3-day sale, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday,
right?
Or is it going to be Thursday and Friday?
Well, you know? I think they're still kind of teetering on that. I think actually the deadline might be today or in a few days. Right now, they're still gauging 3, but you know how that is.
Sure,
it can always change.
And that's really just kind of the primer to our big summer season, because after that, we ship out and go to Steamboat, which is a huge, huge sale. This sale's always 5 days long. Yeah. There's been years when we've probably sold 345,000 head. There's one year when I was with Superior where we sold cattle from 8 a.m. Monday through Saturday, so it went 6 days. So it's a large auction.
Well, and if you are in the Colorado area or any of the surrounding states, I have to tell you what, we all love going to Steamboat Springs, not only to get out of the Texas heat, but just it is so beautiful up there. It is.
Beautiful. It's cool weather. It's pretty. It's great camaraderie from everybody at Superior. This is a sale where the majority of our reps come to, especially the active reps. They're going to be here in Steamboat. You'll also see a lot of consigners that come here, but it's such a great sale. It gets everyone together because once we get through the summer season into the fall, all these reps that are selling cattle right now are going to be delivering, and they're going to be real busy. So if you do want to come meet some people with Superior, here's definitely a place to come.
And I wouldn't miss it for anything. I know I'll be there. There's like 10 of us that'll probably be up there.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then we'll move on over to Winnemucca, Nevada. Pretty much the end of July, I believe it's July 25th through the 29th, somewhere right around there.
That's the other real big sale.
Yeah, I love it because my family gets to come up there.
Well,
but
that's my favorite one too. But definitely a great one. That's a sale that we really get a lot of consigners. I mean, this one, as far as the summer sales, there's probably not another one where we have that many consigners come and watch their cattle sell. And we also have a lot of our seed stock clients who have their production sale with us come and promote their operation as well. And they know that it's a great place to come in and pick up some new buyers and meet some of our consigners, which and you know, just from being with Superior and watching these purebred seed stock sales, a large part of those buyers who are buying these bulls for the next calf crop are also the people that are selling calves with Superior.
Right, yep. And after Winnemucca, then we'll move on over to Sheridan, Wyoming, which all of you know at home is probably one of my personal favorites. I know I say everyone's great, but Sheridan, Wyoming, what a great group of people in that town. And it's right at the foot of the Bighorn Mountains, and they have exquisite polo fields. And like Tony Schiffer and Ray Mater, the reps that sell a lot of cattle on that auction, they say that's the hidden gem of Sheridan because of those polo fields. You can go watch exhibition games. They have even real games there. And I think it's like every Tuesday and Thursday evening for all the residents in Sheridan, and it's free. And I was able to go last year, and that was totally fun.
Yeah, and that's another thing about these summer sales. There's always going to be some form of good entertainment there.
Oh, yeah.
I believe all of them, they're going to have some big dinner in the evenings one night there. I know especially Winnemucca, you know, they've got the Thursday night steak fry, got a big concert. And I mean, everybody from, you know, 300 miles out, it seems like, comes to that. And the town goes from pretty small through the week to just everybody all in one place. So it's neat.
Yep, and then we'll round out the summer season in Denver, Colorado, where we actually started our commercial auction at the Bell Ringer auction in January. So it's a full summer for all of us here, but I guess we wouldn't have it any other way.
That's right. You know, and talking about all these summer sales that are on the road, I believe, and I don't have the schedule right in front of me, but there will be one other sale that's sandwiched in between a couple of bigger ones that comes back here to Fort Worth.
Yeah,
but definitely sell a lot of cattle. I mean, we'll sell over 1 million head. They're pretty close this summer, won't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if at any time you want to have our auction schedule or the production schedule, you can go online, as always, to our newly developed website at superiorlivestock.com, or you can call any of us here in the Fort Worth office at 800-422-2117 to get all your questions answered. We want to thank all of you so much for joining us today on Next Stop Auction Block, and we'll see you right back here this time next week, hopefully with more great guests.
Thanks, and see you next time.
Thank you.